And there is joy to be found on the south coast. Here the landscape is wild, watery and untamed. Seaweed-covered shores, empty pebble beaches that stretch out into the sea. Somewhere here in this barren setting is our next longlister. This is Harbour House. Handsome, angular and well-chiseled, cutting a dashing and well-groomed figure. It's a building that takes beachside living to another level. Harbour House is an upside-down house, with the ground floor given over to 3 bedrooms, an all-important wet changing room, and a family room. Upstairs, there's a master bedroom with a dressing room and the kitchen dining living space, opening out onto a deck which faces the waterfront. The salt and wind on this seashore position makes it a tough old spot for any building. It's home to Simon and Lisa, who work in public relations and the furnishings trade. They live here with their 3 children. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, very pleased to be here. Are you both boaty people?
Yes, Lisa and I met by the sea. We got married on a boat on the sea. We raced together at sea, and so the last thing left to do was to go and live by the sea.
I was particularly keen on inside-outside living, weather permitting. When we get the 100-mile-an-hour winds from the southwest that come across the Isle of Wight, it's quite remarkable the house actually stands up and withstands some of the elements.
Well, I notice you've got big doors which swing back on the corners. Expensive, that, but it's beautiful. Harbour House has not only got the beach, it's got a pool set into a coastal garden. That poised and elegant personality starts to really show off up on the first floor, designed to dazzle you with a panorama. It's very glamorous, desirable, beautiful, you know, sleek. It ain't stuck up, though. It's been fashioned out of rough, plain materials.
When people built things hundreds and thousands of years ago, they used bricks and they used wood.
I think it's quite simple finishes in a way.
And this reminds me of a timber deck of a boat, this, you know, or maybe even being inside a boat, you know, lined with timber.
Yeah.
Not that it's all sea dog practicality here. Far from it. What's interesting here, first of all, is the mirror, which I should imagine is, most people would say, nightmare to keep clean.
Yes, but it's not, because you can see the marks.
The mirror pulls off another useful trick. Whichever way you look, you get an engaging, busy view full of seaside activity that fills the house and dissolves the glazed walls to nothing. And the glass just slides away, yeah?
Exactly so.
Having said that, it slides away on what looks like railway tracks. They are so substantial. And this is chunky, goodness me. And they're heavy?
Yes, these things are very heavy.
Yeah.
You need to...
It's our daily
Oh,
workout.
my Lord. If it's difficult to push on precision tracks, try lifting it 20 feet into the air. John Pardee was the architect of Harbour House. His task was to make a home that both stands out as a piece of architecture, but also fits into its surroundings.
The scruffy quality of this area really inspired me. It's horrible being thought of as an architect that just does posh houses. I get really excited by those that don't have a high budget. The ones in kind of areas that aren't high-end makes you just work a bit harder. That's nice, and I don't want it to be too showy. I wanted it to be just unpretentious in its way. I wanted a house here to just fit in.
And there is so much to fit in with. This is no remote coastal bolt hole. The house sits right in the thick of everyday life. They certainly have. Like a bracing plunge in the sea, this is a house that revitalizes. The building now, of course, it breathes and speaks of optimism, adventure, excitement, engagement. with its neighbours and with everybody that lives and works and visits here. This building is an example of generosity. So, 4 houses, all of which surprise and delight. One more to go.
Every single one of these stones is a labour of love.
Before we reveal which of them the RIBA judges have shortlisted for House of the Year. In search of surprising combinations, Michelle has come to the remote Welsh borders to find our next long-listed home.
Whoa, what's this?
This is House on the Hill. Half traditional Georgian farmhouse, half space-age monolith. With gleaming dark walls, jagged edges and mirrored surfaces. Inside, it's a temple to airiness and light. The old farmhouse now houses a triple-height art gallery, 2 bedrooms and a study. Downstairs in the new West Wing, there's a large open-plan kitchen and dining area that evolves into a comfortable living space. Upstairs, there are 2 ensuite bedrooms and an office which opens onto a balcony. The design mastermind behind this building was the architect Alison Brooks.
Well, I always think that when you're working with historic buildings, it's much more effective to do something that contrasts it. The farmhouse is a kind of serious and imposing building, and the West Wing is much more informal.
But this strange combination does work brilliantly. The new West Wing might seem at odds with the old place, but it is quieter and subservient, as if it were an angular shadow of the Georgian farmhouse. Inside, there's no sense of separation between the new and the old. Boundaries are blurred, with living, dining and cooking spaces joined together. Nothing is straight either. Everything is at a slight angle, from the roof lights to the corners and walls. The RIBA judges praised these skewed geometries, which lead your eye and then gently lead you on to explore new spaces and encounters in the building.